Hello, America. Today's show topics include the Oroville Dam, Trump's use of executive orders, how you can help this show, and profiles in history. So, sit back, buckle up, and hang on because we're just getting started.
Freedom is never more than one generation away from extinction. You and I have a rendezvous with destiny.
You know what time it is, so sit back and get ready for the Stafford Voice, your dose of conservative in a world of liberal.
3, 2, 1.
Hey, how you doing? I'm your host, Daniel Stafford, and you are listening to the Stafford Voice, where we are conservative in a world of liberal. And listen, I want to remind you there are many ways to listen. YouTube, iHeart, Spreaker, wherever. Set this channel as a favorite, whatever you have to do so you don't get left behind, because if for some strange, crazy reason you do miss the show, you can catch the replay. So just sit tight. There is no need to panic because, hey, I've got you. In the case you aren't already following on social media, you can find me on Twitter or Gab at Stafford Voice, or you can look me up over on grassfire.com, Facebook, Instagram, or any other social site of your choosing. Wherever you are, just search for the Stafford Voice, and, well, we'll probably be there. Okay. Where are we? That's right. Okay, let me just give a shout out to those of you that are in the chat room, whether you're over on klrnradio.com/chat or you're in the YouTube chat. I just want to say hi, and I really appreciate you coming and listening to the show. If you're in the KLRN radio chat and you want to chat it up with a couple of other like-minded individuals that you're not seeing in the chat that I refer to, do jump over to the YouTubes. I did drop a link there for you. You can come over, say hi to Army John. We got Tina. We've got Slick. We've got the head honchos over at the station that are there. Super appreciative of everybody joining the show tonight. Okay, so we need to get things going. Well, let me just say this about the whole Grammy thing. Enough about the dress. We get it. She wore a Trump dress, not a yellow ribbon, a Trump dress. Can we stop talking about it already? Okay, I'm done. About the whole, I'm done about Grammys. I'm done about the Trump dress. It's not even that nice of a look. It's not even that good looking of a dress. It's not flattering at all. Anyway, I'm done talking about it. Okay, so about the whole Oroville Dam. Yeah. I wondered about this whole thing. About whether it, wow, I've got to get, here, let's do this. I wondered earlier if all of this, or even some of it, could have been prevented. And I stumbled upon a report that Paul Rogers for MercuryNews.com put out. Army John, well, if you do get deployed, I know that I will keep you in our prayers as always, but thanks for the heads up on that. Yes, many of our members in the military are on standby for deployment, and that's kind of coming down the pike as we speak right now. But anyway, Paul Rogers over at MercuryNews.com had this to say. He said that there were 3 environmental groups. 3 the Friends of the River, the Sierra Club, and the South Yuba Citizens League. And they filed a motion with the federal government on October 17th, 2005. Yes, 2005. As part of Oroville Dam's relicensing process. And they were urging federal officials to require that the dam's emergency spillway be armored with concrete rather than remain as an earthen hillside. He went on to say that the groups filed the motion with FERC. This is the Federal Energy Regulatory Commission. They said that the dam that's built and owned by the state of California and finished in 1968 did not meet modern safety standards because in the event of extreme rain and flooding, fast rising water would overwhelm the main concrete spillway, then flow down the emergency spillway, and that could cause heavy erosion that would create flooding for communities downstream, but also could cause a failure known as what they said loss of crest control. Now, as Army John said in the chat, he said that last year the dam was a quarter of the way full. They had the perfect opportunity to rebuild the dam for far less than what it will cost now. I'm not even going to get into costs just yet. We'll get to it in a bit. By the way, I see that the last Trumpanista Hunter is in the chats. Hey, appreciate you coming over. So let's continue. Let's see. Where do we... quote, a loss of crest control could not only cause additional damage to project lands and facilities, but also cause damages and threaten lives in the protected floodplain downstream. FERC rejected that request, however, after the State Department of Water Resources and the water agencies that would likely have had to pay the bill for the upgrades, and said that they were unnecessary. I wonder what they're thinking now, as they're scrambling to try and figure out what to do next. You know, they've got the big helicopter-sized sandbags where they're packing them full of dirt and clay and rocks and anything that they can fit in there. It's mind-boggling that... Why ignore warning signs? Why? Is beyond me. Anyway... let's see. Federal officials at the time said the emergency spillway was designed to handle 350,000 cubic feet per second, and the concerns were overblown. John Onderdonk, a senior civil engineer with FERC in the Federal Energy Regulatory Commission's San Francisco office, in July 27th, of 2006. Let me reiterate that. July 27th of 2006, in a memo to his managers, wrote, quote, "It is important to recognize that during a rare event with the emergency spillway flowing at its design capacity, spillway operations would not affect reservoir control or endanger the dam." He added, "The emergency spillway meets FERC's engineering guidelines for an emergency spillway. The guidelines specify that during a rare flood event, it is acceptable for the... Only California raisins can say something like this. Spillway operations... would not affect reservoir control or endanger the dam. No, I'm sorry. I skipped over where I was. He says, it is acceptable for the emergency spillway to sustain significant damage. Wait, what? Yeah, I'm scratching my head at that. That's like getting T-boned in a car accident. Your car looks like a taco and saying, it's just some cosmetic damage. It's just a door ding. It's fine. It goes down the road kind of wonky, but it'll get us there. Slick in the chat room says that because the California government does illegal drugs. Let's see. The head honchos over at the station say they want to ignore the truth, that they don't want to spend money. I totally agree. They don't. John says, did you see the spillway after they shut down the flow? Huge chunks of concrete ripped out of the spillway. And look, I'm sorry. I've been keeping an eye on this whole thing. I've been watching news feeds and looking at pictures, and I'm sorry I don't have any images. I wanted to have some images put up somewhere here on the screen so that you guys could see some of the damage that's been caused. Anyway, it's really tragic, the images that are coming out, and it's very disheartening to know that 150 to 200,000 people could likely be flooded just beyond recognition. The damage that would be sustained would just be devastating. They haven't seen anything like this in, I think they reported 50 years. This is one of those quote-unquote 50-year things that that most people hardly ever give thought to. It's just tragic. Anyway, so let's go back to 2006, shall we? A filing on May 26th of 2006 by Thomas Berliner, an attorney for the state water contractors, and Douglas Adamson, an attorney for the Metropolitan Water District of Southern California, both discounted the risk. It urged the FERC to reject the request to require that the emergency spillway be armored, a job that would have cost tens, if not hundreds, of millions of dollars. Now, here's where the whole idea of cost comes into play. Why in the hell would we even be concerned about cost when, one, California has never once been concerned about the cost of anything? It is the land of liberal unicorns. You know, snowflakes come out of a unicorn's butt when it farts. This could have been prevented. Like it or not, this warning from 12 years ago that has gone on record to say that something like this, what we're seeing, could be prevented. If only we would have dropped some money towards it. But no, we needed to continue to fund the sanctuary cities. We needed to continue to push that liberal agenda that California's doors are open and, well, we're just going to fund all of that crap. Well, if they would have allocated some of those funds towards fixing their infrastructure, such as this dam, yeah, they might not be in this mess. I saw somewhere where they were talking about how the secondary spillway is reinforced with wood. That's not going to work. Ugh. Seriously. Oh. Slick says there's 0 unicorn farts in LA. Trust me on this. Smells like the Trinity River in the summertime. Well, yeah, you might be right. Anyway, unicorn farts would probably be overtaxed anyway, and they wouldn't. They wouldn't want or allow the unicorns to fart. Yes, I get that, Slick. I get that, that kind of stuff worked in the 1700s. But let me again touch on what John just put out there, that this dam was built 50 years ago. That that most of these levees and dikes that are there were built in the 1800s. They've been neglected for so long. When you neglect things over a period of time, they will fail, no matter what. And unfortunately, it's going to take something like this to really open the eyes of those in charge. And you're obviously going to see these leftist, the leftist leadership, the liberal leadership in California cry to President Trump and say, "Oh, we need help. You gotta help us, Daddy." Anyway, you know what? We're going to take a break, and when we come back, we're going to talk about Trump's use of executive orders. I know we've got to set a little bit of time aside to continue to hold Trump's feet to the fires. So we're going to take a break, and when we come back, that's what we're going to talk about. But before we do, look, our friends over at grassfire.com, they have kind of taken us under their wing, and you'll see right up here with the Real America logo, this is their new project that they have taken under. And these guys over at grassfire.com, I can't say enough good things about them and what they're doing over there. I know the last thing you want is another social media site, but trust me on this. You don't have to worry about getting trolled by anybody over there. If you want to get into a serious discussion about a topic, drop a link, say something. If you're not already over there, go join grassfire.com, look me up. You can drop a link, and it's going to create a great discussion. It's the way that they've got things designed over there. I could not be any more happy. And with the addition of Real America, RealAmericaTV.com, it's just fantastic. This is the very, very bottom level, and they're getting things set up right now for something big. That's all I can say. I mean, trust me on that. If you're not over on grassfire.com, do so right now. The sooner you can get over there, the better. So let's take a break, and when we come back, we are going to talk about Trump's use of executive orders. We will be right back.
You are listening to KLRN Radio, where liberty and reason still reign.
Nothing will protect you quite like your sidearm, so why not give it the protection it deserves? Something as strong as the Second Amendment and stands the test of time, and better yet, made in the USA. A Rebel Road Tactical Custom Kydex holster is that and more. Call now and place your order with Rebel Road Tactical at 682-217-4579. Again, 682-217-4579, or online at rebelroadtactical.com.
Conservative in a world of liberal.
The Stafford Voice.
All right, we are back. That's right. I'm your host, Daniel Stafford. This is the Stafford Voice. I'm just trying to keep up with what they're talking about in the chat. John says, do you remember New Orleans Mayor Ray Nagin arrested for embezzling federal dollars that were supposed to go to Lank Pontchartrain dikes? Yes, I do. That was after Katrina and the levees broke. Basically, he's saying that basically California's been doing the same thing. Slick says, why are we sending federal dollars to Wow. Okay. Sorry, I'm trying to stay caught up on what's happening in the chats. I got 2 different chats going up. They're talking about Slick's ad that I put together. Look, by the way, trust me when I say this. You guys, if you love if you support the Second Amendment and you are a conceal and carry, you're a member of the conceal and carry, do me a favor. Go to rebelroadtactical.com. Order yourself a holster. You will be beside yourself at the quality and it's made in America. It's the quality that is in Slick's holsters. They're handmade. They're made here in the USA. The quality it far exceeds anybody else when it comes to a Kydex holster. It's just, they're fantastic. Take my word for it. Let him know that I sent you over there too, by the way, because he may hook you up. Anyway, okay, so let's talk about Trump's use of executive orders for just a second. We know that he's not wasting any time trying to fulfill campaign promises. And so far, he's used these executive actions to get what he has pledged to do. But here's the big question. Is he out of line? Is he in line with other presidents? How does he stack up against Obama's first few weeks? Trump is starting his 4th week having issued 12. I like that, John. Whereas Obama ended his 3rd week with 14. In their first week, they both issued 5 executive orders. So far, pretty in line, right? But Trump is the evil one here. Remember that. Captain EO, as John puts it, and we may have to adopt that because I really like that. He says his favorite new name for President Trump is Captain EO. Yes, his EOs are pretty much falling in line with other presidents. And here are some interesting facts throughout history that have been put together by the American Presidency Project. And these are by the numbers. This is, well, I like facts. Facts don't have feelings. They don't care. President Washington issued a total of 8. John Adams, James Madison, and James Monroe were the only presidents to issue just 1. Now, Roosevelt, hold your heads because they're getting ready to explode. Roosevelt holds the record with 3,721, 5 of which were overturned by the Supreme Court in 1935. B.J. Clinton, 364. George W., 291. Obama, 276. Slightly less than W, but still. That evil Trump, right? Obviously, those on the left are not going to like what Trump is doing. Because, here, just for instance, of Trump's 12 executive orders, many of them address issues such as reducing government regulations. Oh my gosh, say it's not so. Placing ethics restrictions on administration officials. Oh no, say it's not so. Implementing a temporary ban on travel from 7 terrorism-prone nations. Oh, that one's got a lot of people up in arms. Enforcing border security, cutting federal funds to sanctuary cities, expediting environmental reviews, and reducing the burden of Obamacare, which he did day one, and I believe was the first thing that he did, was reducing the burden of Obamacare. And look, we're getting ready to go into tax season. Just, this blew my mind. The amount of money we spent on health insurance and medical issues, medical bills alone, was almost 15% of our yearly income, if not more. I about fell over when my wife told me that. Now, I see that John is reminding us that Obama said that he had a pen and a phone. Well, Trump, I'm not going to go there, that he has a boot with a steel toe. Trump's got a pen, and he's also got Twitter. So he gets stuff done too. Let me see. We should only criticize those EOs that violate federal law and the Constitution. Simple numbers don't tell the whole story. So that's in reply to what Ron had said earlier, which is it's not the number of EOs that matter, it's their impact on our freedoms. Obama excelled at that, and which is 100% true. I totally agree with that. And look, no matter what, we've got to hold our elected officials' feet to the fire. When they say that they're going to do something and they don't do it, we've got to call them on it. But we've got to give a thumbs up to President Trump, because the things that he's done, as evil as some people may say they are, his focus and his heart is in trying to protect the country. That whole "Make America Great Again," but reducing government regulations. Look, we have talked about this for so long. Our government is so bloated. It's ridiculous. We have got to rein in the control of the government. And this temporary ban from these 7 countries, it's not any different than what Obama did when he did this. Not any different. It's the same countries. I mean, hang on. I'm trying to remember where. Nope, that's not that one. Sorry, I printed out some stuff earlier. This was from an article from The Blaze. They were talking about what the United Nations Secretary General Antonio Guterres was talking about, where he was talking about Islamophobia and how it's fueling terrorism. I'm not going to go into what he said. I want to touch on something that the Times of Israel said. This was, again, from The Blaze. They says, according to the Times of Israel, Syria has produced 4.8 million refugees. Syrian President Bashar al-Assad said Thursday that terrorists are, quote, definitely a part of the general refugee population. Oh, thank you. Unbelievable. Right there in print. Oh, but we don't want to talk about that because we're a nation of immigrants. We need to tear down these walls. We need to let anybody in. Look, no! We don't. What's the range of an M203? I think you're good out to about 300 yards. Some will argue that you can go out farther than that, but that's for an area-sized target. You can get really, really good at least out to 300 yards. I think they're good out to about 500 for an area target, but we've shot them out. We got really good out to about 100 yards and 150 yards, but I think John could give us some specs on the 203 grenade launcher. But I'm pretty sure that it was out to about 300, where they were fairly accurate with a small target. Let me see. Slick says he's got tired eyes. Really? Well, yeah, I do understand that. Also, if you want some help with stuff like that, Slick, let me know. I will offer my services for you on that one. And qualified expert in grenade launcher sniper. No, but I did. Okay. Here, we're done talking about that. So let's do, where do we want to go? Oh, we want to go here. Here. Let's do this. Fun fact. I have never fired a shotgun. Of all the weapons in the military, the one that I never fired was a shotgun. Never qualified on it, never fired one. Even prior to and after service. Never fired a shotgun. I know. Woo! Here we go. Unleash it on me now. But everything from a 9mm up to the 25 mic on the Bradleys, fired AT-4s, fired tow missiles. We're talking sticks of dynamite. I've done everything from a block of C4 up to 2,000 pounds of C4 at any given time. Mine clearing line charges. I've done live anti-tank mines. Wow, you name it. Yes, had fun doing all of it. Excuse me, I'm getting all worked up now. But never fired a shotgun. So 203 grenade launcher. I don't know if I could consider myself a grenade launcher sniper, but yeah, I could hold my own. The area effect of a 40mm grenade, or from a 203 or an M79, depends on the type of grenade. Yeah, you're right. Okay. You know what? Let's do. Is this the one I want? Yes. Okay. Let's do this before we take our final break. How can you help? Okay. If you are a longtime listener, or you are a longtime watcher of the show, you will know that towards the end of the show, we wrap it up with something called Profiles in History. Or not Profiles in History, I'm sorry. With Who Said That? I'm looking, and on my notes, the next thing coming up is Profiles in History. Sorry. But you guys know that one of the segments we would wrap the show up with was called Who Said That? Where it didn't matter whether it was a conservative, a liberal, Republican, Democrat, you name it. If they said something that was completely stupid, that proved without a shadow of a doubt that they were stuck on stupid, we would share it. And no, I don't think that's what I said, John. If I did, I apologize, but I don't think that's what I said. But anyway, we would call you out, we would call them out on it, and we'd kind of make fun of them, and we'd have a good time doing so. So here's where I need your help. If you're new to the show, audio was cutting in and out. Sure, I think that was hopeful hearing, maybe, John. So here's my request to you. I need your help. You guys know that I've said this so many times that I want you to feel like family, and when you watch the show, I want you to feel like you're a part of it. So here's how you can become a part of the show. Prior to the show, basically throughout the weekend, if somebody, or even during the week, here's what I want you to do. If somebody says something completely stuck on stupid, I want you to share it with me. Reach out to me on social media, whether it's Facebook or Gab or Twitter, grassfire.com, whatever it is. I want you to share it with me. And you guys will the creme de la creme will rise to the top. And we will be able to pick from what you guys submit for a Who Said That. Now, obviously, one of you will know who it was, who said that. But we're going to kind of mix this up. We're going to kind of split up the Who Said That. Nancy Pelosi quotes inbound. Oh God, that hag! I can't even stand the screech. The screech of her voice. So here's what I'm hoping, and here's where I'm still trying to figure out the whole concept of how I want to do this. You guys will be able to send stuff to me. I'll pick through it. If yours happens to make it on, then great. Kudos. My thinking is, and this kind of comes from my accountability circle, here, one of our ideas is, and if you have a better idea, by all means, share it with me, because I want you guys to be able to interact with the show on a whole different level. That's true, Trumpanista Hunter. Any member of the U.S. Senate, they're completely stuck on stupid, majority of them. Nancy Pelosi's biography movie was called Death Becomes Hers. Okay. Here's what one of the thoughts is. We play the soundbite towards the beginning of the show. And at the end of the show, we set aside time that you can call in with your guess. And then we break it to you, or something along those lines. Anyway, so that's where we're at. That's how you guys can help. I need your help with this, because I really want to bring the Who Said That segment back. So over the next couple of days and weeks, let's really wrap our heads around this together. I mean, you guys and us here in the studio, we're really going to wrap our heads around this and come up with a good idea, so that we can make this a little more interactive. Get your guys' feedback. I really want to hear from you guys. So I think let me know in the chat room if you like that idea or not. I mean, I really want to increase the interactivity, the interaction with the show. And I want people to be able to call in. And so the technical side of that, I'll figure it out. But whatever you guys agree on and like, then let's put it into practice. Okay. Without further ado, we need to take one last final break. And when we come back, it's your favorite time and mine, Profiles in History. So, we'll be right back after this short break.
You're listening to the Spark Radio Network. Internet radio like you've never heard before. Innovation, creativity, and imagination are all said to begin with a spark. So fasten your seatbelt and take the ride of your life and listen for the spark.
KLRN Radio has advertising rates available. We have rates to fit almost any budget. Contact us at advertising@klrnradio.com.
Conservative in a world of liberal.
The Stafford Voice.
Okay, we are back. Your guys' favorite time and mine. Get this queued up so we can do this right. Profiles in history. Legend has it that his knowledge of the Welsh language is what saved him from death at the hands of Indians during the French and Indian War, when he was taken prisoner by the French as they captured Fort Oswego. Now, Francis Lewis was born on March 21st, 1713, in Llandaff, Wales. Somewhere around the age of 4 or 5 years old, he was orphaned, being passed from relative to relative, one of which, his uncle, put him through school at Westminster in London. Before coming to America in the mid-1730s, he worked in the counting house of a London merchant. Having learned the business well, Lewis took his inheritance and invested it in building his own merchant business in New York and Pennsylvania. In 1745, he married his partner's sister, Elizabeth Ainsley. After his little run-in during the French and Indian War, upon his return, he became concerned about how his adopted home, America, was being lorded over by the land of his birth. And it was around this time that he would become one of the Sons of Liberty. Now, Francis joined the 1765 Stamp Act Congress in New York City after retiring from business in an effort to try to convince Parliament to repeal it. Now, later, Lewis served in the Continental Congress from 1775 to 1779, working on the Marine, Foreign Affairs, and Commerce committees. As a delegate from New York, he was there on July 4th, 1776, when the Declaration of Independence was adopted, but he didn't vote for it as the New York delegation had not yet been authorized by its legislature to vote. However, the New York legislature later approved independence in time for Lewis to sign the document on August 2nd. Now, many of the delegates feared reprisal for their bold act, but few felt it as directly and swiftly as did Francis Lewis. The account is as follows. On September 19th, 1776, a British warship fired on his Long Island home while he was at Congress. A shell landed near where his wife, Elizabeth, was standing. When a servant told her to run, she replied,
"Another shot is not likely to hit the same spot."
British soldiers also came into the home and ransacked it. She was about 60 years old, but this didn't stop the British from taking her prisoner and putting her into a cell in New York City without a bed or a change of clothing. One of her slaves sought her out and brought her clothes and food. For 2 months, she languished in horrid conditions. When news of her capture and treatment arrived in Philadelphia, Congress was incensed. Washington had 2 loyalist women in Philadelphia put under house arrest and threatened to give them similar treatment if Elizabeth was not released. She was released, but the imprisonment had taken its toll and she never returned to normal health. She died a few years later, and Lewis ended his career as a delegate. Now, Francis never rebuilt his destroyed Long Island home or his life. He hopped from one of his child's home to another child's home and lived out the remaining time with them. And at the age of 89, Francis Lewis passed away in New York City on December 30th, 1803. And that is this week's Profiles in History. Okay. Let me see. Sorry, I'm trying to catch up with what was happening in the chat room. They really like the idea of the increasing the interaction. Let's see. I saw that you sent a message. Station heads, I appreciate that. I'll take a look at it here shortly. John thought I said D-bags in history. Oh, profiles, sorry. Yeah, you were kind of hoping that Bunny would read her top 10 list. You know what? Maybe the next time we get Sam back on the show, we'll see if we can coax her into coming up with at least like a top 5 D-bag list. Because that was one of the highlights that I always enjoyed on her show. And no, I just think about that. A British warship firing on your house. You're not even there to be able to protect your family. It's unreal. The fact that, his wife had a slight sense of humor through all of it. It was funny. I chuckled when I read what she had said. So, anyway. Yeah, I mean, last week's show was awesome. That was so much fun. I'm so glad that Sam was able to make it. It was awesome. Slick says storm coming. You got one down there? I'm interested to know about that. Yes, we will have her back on again. Sorry, I'm just trying to keep up with the chat rooms. Okay, so again, let me reiterate real quick what we had talked about earlier, and that's that I do need some help with the entire idea of bringing back the Who Said That segment. And this time period right here towards the end of the show, the last like 5 minutes, is the exact time where we would actually do the Who Said That. So what I'm asking is for your guys' input. I want to know what you guys think the best ideas are. Is it that we play this segment at the beginning of the show, gives you time to try and guess who said it, and then at the end we open up the phone lines for you to call in? I don't know if I can use that, John. I mean, that's a great idea, using the game show music. I don't know if I can do that, but we'll certainly look into it. But seriously, your guys' help is greatly appreciated. That however we can agree on putting this together would be... I'm excited. I'm really, really excited. I want to increase the amount of interaction with the show. I don't know how we can do it, but we're gonna make something work. Anyway, I hope that you guys have had a great weekend. I know that we did, even despite sciatic nerve issues, which I don't know what is. I think I have a good idea of what's causing the majority of it. I'm working out a lot more than I have been, and I think that's what it is. Weekends are never long enough, but we had an incredible weekend. We went to, foam rolling. That helped tremendously. That was basically the only way that I was able to get up and mobile on Saturday, so we could go out to Lawrence around KU and go partake in what we did. I mean, we went and tried a new restaurant, which was really good. We're hoping to go back again because their food was really good. It was called Ramen Bowls. It's like gourmet type bowls of ramen noodles. But after that, we went to, and Tina's gonna really like to hear this. we went to one of our craft soda hangouts where we've been able to get some good craft sodas. I'll get to it in just a second, John. But we were finally able to try a soda called Peach Knee-High. The brand is called Knee-High, but the flavor is peach. It's peach-flavored soda. And there's a Boy Scout camp not too far. It's relatively close. It's about an hour and a half away. Hour and a half to 2 hours, maybe. And on the outskirts of this place, they have this little setup where they put together these Peach Knee-High floats. John, I've got a story about bacon-flavored soda. It's not so much bacon-flavored, but anyway. So they put together these Peach Knee-Highs, and Boy Scouts from all over the area, when they go, it's like the talk of the town. So we never really understood. Yes, H. Rowe Bartle is that. Yes, you're completely correct, Longers. I appreciate that, Tyler. What? That's where it's at. Yeah. Yeah, it's in a town called Iconium, which is right on the outskirt of the entrance to the scout camp, which is H. Rowe Bartle Scout. Anyway, so Tina said that she loves Peach Knee-Highs, and she hasn't had one in years. As a matter of fact, I'm going to reach out to you, and here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to send you some Peach Knee-High, and because I completely understand the hype. We completely understand the hype. It was fantastic. Oh my God, Peach Knee-High floats, that might be better. No, it's not. Come on, Slick. Be real. Be real with that. It's not. Anyway, I'm gonna hook you up, Slick and Tina. I'm gonna send you 2 bottles of Peach Knee-High soda on me. Not literally on me, but I'm gonna send some bottles of Peach Knee-High to you guys, because we totally understand the hype. I totally get it. It was fantastic. We've got a couple of bottles set aside here at the home, but now that I know where to go locally, that is, we've got that covered. I know we don't have to do that, but we're doing it. I'm doing it. You'll see it here. I'll contact you after the show. I might even have to wait till tomorrow to contact you to get some information, but congratulations. We're going to send you 2 bottles. I mean, woo, no confetti. But unfortunately, that sound says that the show is over. And you know what? Stick around for the after the show, John, because I'll show you what kind of cookies. Anyway, unfortunately, that sound tells us that's all the time we have for this week. And God willing, the Stafford Voice, your host, Daniel Stafford, will be back next week. You can follow me over on Twitters or Gab at Stafford Voice. Look me up on grassfire.com, Facebook, Instagram, wherever you're at. Just look for the Stafford Voice. You can also email your questions, comments, or concerns, or any of your ideas in regards to what to do with the Who Said That segment to the Stafford Voice at gmail.com. Again, that's the Stafford Voice at gmail.com. Again, thank you so much for your time, and until next week, thanks, and God bless. Okay, I promised you, John, and thank you for saying it was a great show, and I think we packed a lot in tonight. So, with Look, and I know you guys don't mind during the after the show, so by all means, if you've got cookies or you need a snack, now's the time, because look at that. Would you look at that? Look at those chocolate chip cookies. I mean, there's not even much cookie there. There's so much chocolate. Oh, oh my God. Oh, man. Wow. She outdid herself on these. I'm serious. These chocolate chip cookies are incredible. I wish that I could have milk, more than just one brand that's not so stinking expensive. Tyler likes the outro music, Panic Attack by Dream Theater. Yes, good pickup on that. And Tyler, if this is your first time checking the show out, let us know what you think. Or if you're gonna, or if you'll be back next week. If you've made it this far in watching the show, if you've made it this far in the show and you're still hanging out with us, you're more than a friend right now. You got biscuits and jam. Okay. Slick says, "Damn it, stupid diet, can't fit that in my macros." You can. You can fit it in your macros. You just have to suffer all day long. Or why did I tell her she cooked them too long in the vlog? Okay. Here's the thing, Tina. When I pick the cookie up, I want it to be like halfway raw. I want it to look like it still needs to be cooked. When you pick it up, it falls apart. That it's that slightly undercooked. The wife, on the other hand, she really likes them to be crispy. Not crispy. Super crispy. She likes them to have a bit of a crunch to them, right? Not really. These are perfect. I know. Daniel likes his undercooked with blood still. No, not a steak. I'll take my steak well done, but my cookies, medium. Oh, Slick likes snickerdoodles. He says they're his favorite. That's why we are brothers from different mothers, Slick. John says he likes carbon charred, slightly burnt cookies. You've eaten too many mess hall cookies. Crispy on the outside, soft on the inside. That's how I like them. That's how the missus likes them. I don't like them that way. I want them as soft and undercooked on the outside as they are on the inside.
How about I just work?
That might work. Oh, anyway. So John likes shortbread cookies. The missus likes shortbread cookies.
I do.
My favorite cookie, here's my top 3 cookies. DFAT cookies. They were cooked in the war zone, not the oven. Okay, here's the thing with DFAT cookies. You could shingle a house with DFAT cookies. Not joking. Anyway, okay, so here's my top 3 cookies. Top 3 of all times would be my wife's chocolate chip cookies, my mom's snickerdoodles, and my mom's sister, my aunt. She makes these, what are they called? Cowboy cookies? Uh-huh. They're called cowboy cookies. I believe that it is... Also called Laura Bush. Yeah, they're called Laura Bush cookies. I think she's the one that kind of made them famous. But I believe it's almost exact to Laura Bush's recipe. Oh, fantastic. Those are my top 3 cookies in that order.
What about the crack
That's
cookies?
our son's favorite. I almost have to explain what a crack cookie is. What's a crack cookie? Crack cookies are fantastic. They have craisins in them. They're craisins, right?
Well,
They're dried cranberries. They got white chocolate chips
oatmeal.
and oatmeal. They're good, but I would put them in the top 5. I would put them in the top 5, but not in the top 3. Daniel would put them
As number 1.
Daniel would put them as, our son would put them as number 1, and number 2 would be Snickerdoodles.
Yeah.
The kid could live off of Snickerdoodles or crack cookies. And actually, he asked the missus to make some crack cookies, and she told him she's not going to make him any until he spends one whole week doing nice deeds for others. So he has to be like on his...
Not every day his wife.
And right, his wife can't be every day. Can't be his good deed. He has... Got to get a recipe book going, Miss Stafford. Yes, we should. We should put together a small... John says when he lived in Texas, cowboy cookies were what cows made in the ranch. Tina said that's cow pie. Yes. Or bull cookies. Anyway. Okay, so here's the thing about a cookbook. Here's the thing about recipe books, okay? If you subscribe to the newsletter, you will know that every now and then, I put in a little something about a recipe or something that we've tried as part of the newsletter. It is kind of, you do have to scroll down in the newsletter, but it's there. So I'm trying to think, what was the last thing that we did? Oh, it was the oatmeal. Oh, what were those no bakes that you made? Yeah, they were caramel no bake cookies, kind of like there was no caramel in it, but anyway, they were really good. They were super.
They were okay.
You want the recipe for those peach knee-high floats? Okay, it's this easy. You're already going to have one of the ingredients. It's 2 ingredients. 2 ingredients. Peach knee-high soda with vanilla ice cream. That's it. That's a peach knee-high float. So, here in a couple of days, I will get those out to you and Tina Slick. I'll get them out to you so you guys can enjoy. Yeah, we'll figure something out. I'll get you 2 bottles. I'll get them down to you. Yes, it's gonna be great. So John says that his favorite ice cream is Spumani. My favorite is just plain old-fashioned vanilla. I like plain vanilla ice cream. An egg cream? What? Jessica, you're going to have to explain that. An egg cream soda? Maybe you're getting tired and falling asleep this late at night. Something about an egg cream soda? I don't even want to touch that. Madagascar vanilla is pretty rockin'. Look, I am a fan of vanilla. I like mint chocolate chip. I like mint chocolate chip, but by far my favorite is vanilla. Just plain vanilla.
I like ice cream.
The wife, yes, the missus just likes ice cream. She tried one yesterday that was it was a gelato, but it was caramel.
It was
Brown sugar caramel.
I couldn't taste it.
John says that he thought Slick's favorite ice cream would be cordite flavor. Oh, anyway, okay. Look, guys, I appreciate you hanging in there with us for the show. You guys are awesome. You guys, let's see. The last Trumpanista Hunter says butter pecan. I don't know that I've ever... The missus likes butter pecan. I don't think I've ever had it. Just good. The egg cream comes from the foam the seltzer makes. You'll have to send me a link on that one, Jessica. I'm not getting it. Oh, chocolate syrup, a little bit of milk, and seltzer water. Okay. Excuse me. I just saw that. I'll have to look it up, see what a picture looks like, and I will look it up. I don't know if I'll try it though. Milk doesn't really agree with me too well. We could go get some Chateau milk. It's really the only milk that, huh? It does kind of look like a root beer float. Okay. Well, maybe we'll try it on the vlog. Let's see. Maybe you all are stoned. Why would we be stoned? We don't... I missed something. I stumbled upon this and I have no clue why you were talking about ice cream. Well, it's because this is the... Okay, sorry. That's because this is the after the show. You've already missed the entire show that was where we talked about the Oroville Dam in California. We talked about now you got the munchies? Okay. Well, I mean, I've got chocolate chip cookies. So, I mean, I've always got the munchies, but I'm not stoned. Anyway. So, look, super thankful that everybody tuned in tonight and watched or listened, however you chose to. Really appreciate it. Yeah, you'll have to catch the link here after a bit. Sorry. Your screen didn't freeze there for just a second. I did. My brain went into stop mode. Anyway. So, yeah. Super, super thankful that everybody tuned in tonight. Thank you so much. Until next week, when we do the show, you can follow along on the vlogs or anything like that on social media. But I want to remind you that you guys are more than friends. If you guys have hung out this long, and many of you in the chat room already know this, that you guys are more than friends. You guys are family. Well, you guys take care. I will see you out on the social medias. Until next time, thanks and God bless.